welcome back to This Day. I want to welcome from Cirque du Soleil's new Echo show that's coming to Laguna Hills Mall parking lot. If you've been driving by, you've seen the big top, it's already out there. Penelope, Elena, Scheidler, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, tell us a little about Echo. Are you part of the original cast? Because this show just started, what, a year or so ago, and you joined the original cast back in January?
Yes, I was part of the creation in January 2023 in Montreal. Been on the show ever since, and it's been a ride. It's been so fun. The show is getting better and better. It's been very fun to be part of the show.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You've been doing this since you were a little kid. I mean, since you were 3 and 4, you grew up in this kind of performing family. Did you always dream someday, hey, I want to be I want to be part of this someday? And was Cirque du Soleil like the epitome of performance shows like that?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Like my mom, she was a dancer when I was a kid. Like she transitioned from being a dancer into more being a dance teacher. But like I grew up with it. Like she started stretching me when I was like 3 years. And I think the first time I said that I want to be a dancer or that I want to be on stage, I was 6 years. And then I think with 7 or 8, I saw my first Cirque du Soleil show. And ever since then, like I knew, okay, this is what I want to do. Like no other profession is could ever be interesting.
Were you
And
feeling you're
I'm very
predestined?
glad it worked out. Yeah, I don't know what I would be doing without it
Like
worked out.
you grew up with this, or do you feel like you were kind of predestined? There was no way that you weren't going to be a performer someday. You grew up with this world. You were started to stretch and do the acrobatics when you were 3 and 4. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
was there any other thing you in life you said to yourself, well, maybe this or maybe that, or you just knew this is your fate?
No, I always knew that I was gonna do it. Like I just didn't know how because I grew up in Austria. Like we were not like moving around a lot when I was a kid. Like I was based in Austria, and in Austria, like there is like the profession a circus artist, it doesn't exist. Like if you tell people in Austria, I want to be a circus artist, they're like, oh, so you want to be a poor person living in a like like traveling,
Traveling by
having no money,
train.
having no shower. And I was like, well, I haven't thought about that, but like I want to be on stage. Like I don't know how or yeah. And then I just started with very small gigs in Austria, like corporate things. I just said yes to anything. Like, hey, can you perform like a little bit in the shopping center? Yes, I'll do it. I'll do it. And then you just like you just keep going. But like to the question, like I always knew that I want to do this and nothing else. Yeah.
Okay, so Cirque, tell me a little about the show. It's called Echo. It's a new show, so it's not a revival of an older one. This is a new show, and the main character is called Future, and it's about kind
Yeah.
of connections to nature and our connections to people and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it is a lot about the connection between like the humans and the animals. Like it starts off with like you see this big cube. It represents the earth and the animals. It's kind of like you don't see faces, you just see like white animals around like the cube, and then you have Future and the dog as like the main characters, and she's kind of like experiencing the story or like journey and stuff with her dog, Iwe. And you slowly like the animals they during the show like they kind of like transform into people, and they take out from the cube, they take from the cube, take from the cube, and until the cube is empty, and then Future is like, oh, like we've taken everything and now it's empty and we kind of like have to rebuild it together. So it's like the story is not that complicated, but it's very yeah, it's about the environment, about connection, about people and animals and stuff. I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
What's
And
what
it's
what do you take from the show? What is like the thing that I know there's a message in there, and then that's the stuff I've read about. But when you watch the show, when you've seen the show as you performed it, what do you feel like, oh, this is what I'm taking from the show?
as in like a person who is doing the show or as a person who is watching the show.
Either way, whatever you feel, whatever.
Because like I watched the show for the first time a couple of months ago, like 3 months ago, and for the first time myself, and it is just stunning. Like even like small things that you, as a performer, you're like, oh, like I'm just doing this in the background while another act is happening in the front, and then you watch the show and you're like, oh my god, this is like this everything makes so much sense, and like so this is one aspect of it, but the other thing of the show that I really like is that there are a lot of like I call old, more like traditional disciplines, such as like, let's say, like hair hang or like Washington trapeze, even, or like Icarian games. Those are all like very, like more old traditional circus disciplines. But in this show, because the aesthetics of Echo, it is very new. It is very Cirque du Soleil, but very a different sort of aesthetics, more modern, more sleek, I would say. So those more like old traditional circus disciplines put on stage in a very like new aesthetics. It's very interesting. Like I really enjoy that part of the show. And then of course like all the acrobatic levels of the acts are super high. And then the whole story, like it leaves a lot of like again, like there's a story, but you also have a lot of like space to interpret like for yourself, like what you wanna take from it.
Okay. Now, let's talk about you and what you do in the show. You have you're a contortionist, but you also do hair suspension.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
It was actually I started with contortion again when I was like 7. And then I did a lot of um aerial hoop. So I've had experience in aerials. And then I saw hair hanging the first time in Australia live, and I was like, oh my God, like what is that? How do I do it? Like I want to learn it. And then it was really hard. It was 2017. It was at this time it was quite hard to find somebody who actually teaches the discipline, because it's very secretive discipline. And if you ask a hair hanger, hey, can you show me? They're like, absolutely not. Like it's a secret. So I was like, oh, how do I learn that? And eventually I found somebody who taught me, and yeah, it was the craziest thing because it was online. She was in Brazil, I was in Australia. She sent me a video. It was all like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna try it. And then yeah, and then my ex-boyfriend, like he was lifting me in the kitchen because I didn't have anything to hang. Like he stood on the chair.
How do you know that you can do it? That's kind of a hard test. You're gonna find out the hard way.
Exactly. I was like, just lift me. I need to know if it works.
Um,
But yeah, basically, so that was the beginnings, and then I loved it because it's a very different discipline to like other circus disciplines. Like you can't really overtrain it because it's like it's the hair and the scalp. So it's like it's not muscles that you can train and condition to get stronger, right? So you have to really listen to your body, and it's like, but the feeling, like once you get over the pain, once you kind of like get used to it and master a little bit more how to tie it like better so it doesn't hurt like extremely crazy.
okay. There's some secrets to the trade. Now, not only so you had to learn this and it was secretive. Now you've taken it to the next level. You were the first ones to ever do a duo of hair suspension. I saw the clips. You are braided together with another performer, and you guys are doing this whatever feet over the stage. It's incredible.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's again, like I started solo herring, and it's like there's only that much you can do. There's only that many shapes you can do because you're suspended here, so you can't go for it, whatever. And because I've had so much experience with being an aerialist, so I was really used to being in the loops, being upside down, manipulating and stuff. And I was always like, oh, like it would be so like the images that you can do together, kind of like mirroring each other and stuff like that. It could be so cool. So like in pandemic, me and another hair hanger, we created this act that then like Cirque du Soleil bought, and she moved on to other projects, and I have a new partner now on this show. But it was very exciting, like creating this dual hair suspension act, because it's just like it opens up like this whole new world of like images you can create together in the air.
Okay. Now I have a theory. I have a theory, and you're gonna just I know you're gonna tell me I'm wrong. I have a theory. Your hair was straight at one point in your life, and it got kinky because it's hair stretching. Like my extension cord, when I wrap it, it's all.
That's exactly what my brother says. And my hair used to be straight. My hair used to be straight. When I was a kid, I had straight hair. and now it's all curly. And like one day I remember it was in Miami and the humidity was crazy. My hair was like crazy. And my brother looks at me and he's like, I don't want to say anything, but like the more broken your hair is, the more curly it gets. And I was like, that's not true.
I think
It
you,
will stay a theory. It will stay a theory.
you should get a shampoo sponsor. Do you have somebody, is there someone sponsoring your hair?
Unfortunately, no, no, but I'm open for it. So if you want to sponsor me, please.
All right. Well, Penelope, Elena, if you're talk with you with anything like the show, it's going to be a ball for folks to enjoy. It looks incredible. I've seen a lot of the highlights from it. The show is going to be running from, it's already open. It's open in May, and it's going to go through all the way through June 29th. It's over there in the Laguna Hills Mall Shopping Center. www.cirque-desoleil.com/echo for tickets. And you guys can see Penelope, Elena, and another more amazing performers in this. Thank you so much, Penelope, for joining us
Okay.
today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a blast. Thank you.